How's it going, guys? Welcome to my channel, Get Growing. I am a complete novice at gardening. I know the simple basics from a little bit of herb growing I did back in the day. That's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. So I figured with the way things are right now, the simple fact that produce, the price of everything is going up, I may as well start my own garden so I can start relying more on myself rather than being completely dependent on supermarkets and all the common things that we like for all. Basically, I've been going to Walmart for all my basic necessities, including produce, things I can provide for myself if I just, put forth a little bit of effort. And it's also one of the main necessities. So I figured I may as well be able to rely on myself for that. And so I figured why not document my journey as well as document my mistakes, my education. Who knows, maybe some of you out there are wanting to start your own garden but don't know where to start, uh, are kind of intimidated by it. I know I was when I first went on YouTube and was looking up gardening channels, and I mean their setups look so extensive and it looked like it took them forever and cost so much money to start up. And so I was a little bit intimidated at first, so I just kind of took a step back and I was like, okay, what are the basics a plant needs? And so NPK, water, sunlight, a decent place for the roots to grow. Basic as it comes, right? So I did a little bit of research. I got me a good soil medium. It mainly, the dirt that I have in my backyard is quite fertile. It's very healthy dirt, so I didn't have to do a whole lot to it, but I did still, just to be on the safe side, I added my own compost, and I added like a mulched over the top just to help retain the moisture, prevent weed growth, and all that good stuff. And we'll get into that further. This is my first video. There's a lot to cover. All right, so first thing we want to start off with, obviously, is we want to start out with our seeds, and you want to make sure you get a good seed starting mix. I went with Burpee organic seed starting mix. I don't really know too much about it because I'm, like I said, a novice at this. But I obviously seed starting, seed starting, seed starting. Don't start it with regular ass Miracle Grow. It's not going to go over well. The plants will be drug addicts. We'll get into that. So I got a normal seed starting mix, and I also, because I wanted to make transplanting the seedlings into the ground or the raised bed, whatever I planned for them, I wanted to make transplanting as easy as possible. So by getting these biodegradable seedling cups, you just put the soil in, and it oh shit, as you can see, they break apart if you are not careful like I was, but we're good. So this is what it becomes. It is like, obviously it's wet, it holds the moisture, but it's not drowning. It's the soil is still the seed starting mix is very good at retaining moisture. And so you can literally just plant that directly in the ground. You don't have to try to tear the cup out from around it. You don't have to be all like careful with the roots. Like, as you can see, it's just a cup. See, like, it's still intact. Literally nothing fell out. No mess. That seed doesn't even know what happened. And that's why I wanted that, because it's easy. It's hard to screw up. And so I went with that just to make life easy for myself, especially it being my first time. And so that's what we're going to go over with today. So I'm going to bring you guys in, and we're going to go step by step, and we are going to plant some tomatoes. So I thought I recorded planting the tomato seed to make it 4 tomatoes, but I ended up, something happened and it ended up not recording. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna satisfy my OCD and do a 4th summer squash, because I got 8 corn, 4 tomato, but only 3 summer squash. So I'm gonna round it up. I'm gonna make it 4. So you're gonna take your seedling cup, like we have here, and you're just going to put your seed starting mixture in there. And so I just fill it right up to the rim, and then I just pack it down just slightly. You don't have to go crazy with it. Alright, so now that this is full, after we've patted it down, we're going to water it just a little bit. Now, I'm watering it straight from the faucet. I would check, make sure you're good to do that in your area. Test your water. I'm getting mine from the well. I'm here in Florida. I've already tested my water and it's very clean. So I know I'm good to go straight from the tap. But if you're not, let's say you're on city water, like I lived in San Diego for a couple years, and their water, I would fill up some 5-gallon buckets and let it sit overnight because there was a lot of chlorine in that water. So you don't want to be feeding your seedlings chlorine water. So if you're in an area like that where the water is like real nasty, let it sit out for a little bit and let some of that stuff evaporate out. So now that our soil is wet, you'll notice there's a puddle forming. That is a good sign. That means the soil is wet all the way through and the cups are doing their job. They're retaining some moisture, but any excess moisture, sorry, I'm holding the thing up. Ah, shit. You see what I did there? I did dumb things. But it's all good. Because like I said before, these cups are durable. It's meant to be able to endure some fuck-ups here and there. So, the water is not holding any of the excess moisture. It's draining out. So, you know that it's not, that there's going to be no sitting water. And so, my sink is right here, so that's why I have this set up. That's why I'm like brushing the water off. So, now that the soil is good and wet, we're going to get our seeds. Rinse my hand off here. So, we're going to get our seeds. And one thing to know about your seed packets is there's a chart and it shows your area and the months that you want to plant these seeds. So I'm in between April and August. I'm in the red zone here in Florida. So I'm good to go ahead and start planting these. So what I do usually is I'll get about 3 seeds, and because I'm not going to grow all 3 of them to their whole cycle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant these, and you'll see the shape of them. There's like a little opening, that little tip. If you can see it properly, hold on, let me shed some light. There we go. So that shape, there's that little opening right there. That's the side you want to plant facing down. And so I don't think I'll be able to get it in focus there. But you want to plant that facing down. And I do about 3, but that's because I'm as they go through their cycle of seedlings, like the more they grow, the weaker looking one, like the ones that are kind of growing a little slow, I'm going to pull those up and I'm going to keep the strongest one, because I think it's kind of a waste to put one seed per pod. I feel like, because some of them aren't guaranteed to be the strongest plant, so there's more seeds than pods. So, you know, it's cost effective to do this to ensure that you're going to have a good one, at least one good plant per pod. Guarantees that you'll have a productive garden. So once you've stuck the seeds in, I put them about a 1/4 inch in from the surface. My fingers left a little indentation around the seed, but that's fine because we're going to fill it in. So we're going to add in maybe about 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 inch of dry soil. And we're just going to put a little bit more. That was a little thin in one area. So I'm not patting it down very hard at all. I'm barely patting it down, just enough to give the seeds good contact with the soil. And then you take a mister, which this is only like $2 at Walmart. I highly recommend getting one. It makes your life a lot easier. And then you just mist that top layer of soil. Once that's misted, your seeds are planted. You don't have to do anything else, and in due time you're going to see those seedlings
start poking their little heads up out of the soil, and you will have your first set of babies. Okay, that being said, that kind of concludes the seed portion. So I'm going to get you off from staring at my seedlings. Give me a second. Okay, so now that the seeds are planted, I'm going to go over one thing that I feel like is a little bit of bonus for you. A good companion plant for your tomatoes is alyssum, or alyssum, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it is a flower that attracts, at least here in Florida, it attracts the ground wasp and a couple other bugs, but specifically, you want it to attract those bugs because those bugs eat the bugs that eat tomato plants. So your tomato hornworm, those ground wasps target those hornworms to plant the larva on, in their skin, and then the larva kill the worm on its way eating it out, and then the larvae eat aphids that also attack your tomato plants. So it's a colorful addition to your garden as well as beneficial. Tomatoes and these flowers coexist, and so they coexist very well together. And you can also plant them with your corn to provide good ground cover. Companion plants, the combinations you can do are damn near endless. And so yeah, and another little side piece, you can use your toilet paper rolls as little seedling pods. If you don't have the biodegradable cups, buy them as is, you can just use toilet paper roll and do the exact same process that we did. You just cut little slits in the bottom and fold the bottom under, and boom, you have little homemade seedling pods that you can plant directly in the ground. So I believe that's going to conclude my first video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm really trying to grow my channel. I want you guys to learn with me. So yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. It's going to be a tour of the garden plus a little bit of tips for actually getting your garden started. I'm going to show how to break ground and take that first initial step in starting your in-ground garden, as well as little tips on raised beds. So yeah, keep an eye out and look forward to seeing you there.